He told everyone I was dead. My name, my memories, my love. All buried under the lies he built to climb into the world of the elite. Imagine watching the man you once loved stand on a golden stage, marrying another woman in front of hundreds of people, while you're standing in the shadows, alive, breathing and holding. Invitation to your own funeral. When I found out what he had done, I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I planned. Because if he wanted the world to believe I was dead, I was about to give him a reason to wish I really was. Tell me, if someone erased you to build their empire, would you destroy it or walk away? My name is Claire, and 3 years ago, I was just an ordinary woman trying to survive in a city that chews you up if you don't belong. I worked in marketing, lived in a small apartment, and believed in love more than I probably should have. That's when I met Daniel. He was charming, confident, and impossibly successful for someone his age. He said he owned a small real estate firm, but it was his personality that sold me more than his career. He made me laugh, remembered every detail about me, and made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in years. We started dating quickly, and for a while, everything was perfect. He'd take me to rooftop dinners, weekend getaways, and he always spoke about building a future together. The truth is, I didn't even know who he really was. He lived a double life, one with me, built on love and simplicity, and another one behind polished walls and diamond chandeliers. I began noticing small inconsistencies. His phone always off when he went on business trips. The way he'd flinch when I mentioned posting our photos online. How his family never seemed to exist in his stories. But love makes you blind, doesn't it? So I ignored the signs. I believed him when he said his family was complicated, that he wanted to keep his personal life private. I thought it was romantic, like we were our own little secret. I didn't realize I was the secret. One evening, after nearly 2 years together, he proposed. It wasn't grand or over the top. It was just us on the balcony of my apartment with city lights flickering below. He said he wanted forever, and I believed him. I said yes. We started planning small details of our future life. Then suddenly he disappeared, just like that. No message, no call, no closure. His phone number was disconnected. His apartment empty. It was like he had vanished into thin air. For months I tried to reach him, called every contact, emailed his company, even went to the address he'd once given me for his office, only to find out no one named Daniel ever worked there. I spiraled. Depression swallowed me whole. Friends told me to move on, that maybe he wasn't who I thought he was. But I couldn't let go without answers. Then one afternoon, nearly a year after he vanished, I got a call from a private number. A woman's voice on the other end said, "I think you should know the truth about Daniel." My heart stopped. She told me Daniel's real name, Daniel Reeves, was alive, thriving, and about to marry into one of the wealthiest families in the city. His fiancée, the daughter of a billionaire hotel magnate. My first reaction was disbelief, then came anger. She said she'd send me proof. An hour later, an email arrived, photos of him in designer suits, smiling in luxury venues, attending charity galas with his new fiancée, Lydia. In one photo, he was holding her hand, standing in front of a massive engagement banner that read, "Love Beyond Loss." And then it hit me. The loss they were referring to was me. I dug deeper, searching every news piece I could find about him. That's when I found the article. It said Daniel Reeves tragically lost his fiancée, Claire, 3 years ago in a car accident. While on a trip abroad, my actual photo, was in the article, labeled as deceased. He hadn't just moved on. He killed me on paper. He used my death as part of his story, an emotional anchor to make him seem like a man who'd endured tragedy and still built success. I didn't know whether to laugh or break down. He'd erased me. My existence had been turned into a stepping stone for his ambition. But something inside me snapped. I wasn't just going to expose him. I was going to dismantle everything he'd built on my ashes. For weeks I planned. I found out the date of his wedding. It was set at the Grand Ascend Resort, the kind of place where the cheapest champagne costs more than my rent. The guest list included politicians, CEO, and celebrities, and that's where I'd confront him. I reached out to the woman who'd first called me. Her name was Sarah. She turned out to be Lydia's cousin, and she hated Daniel. She'd always suspected he was hiding something, and when she came across my old photos on a forgotten Facebook page, she realized I wasn't dead. Together, we devised a plan. She helped me get a last-minute catering assistant job at the wedding through one of the vendors. That way, I could move around without suspicion. The day of the wedding arrived. I'll never forget it. The golden arches of the entrance, the laughter, the string quartet playing soft melodies. I was wearing a catering uniform, blending in among dozens of staff. My heart pounded every time I caught a glimpse of him. He looked exactly the same, just colder, sharper. The boyish smile I once loved was now practiced, polished for the cameras. Lydia looked stunning, innocent, radiant, unaware that the man beside her was a fraud. As the ceremony began, I stood near the back, pretending to serve champagne, while my mind raced. Every time he said something about love conquering loss, I felt a chill crawl up my spine. He had used my supposed death to make himself look noble. The audacity of it made my blood boil, and then, right before the vows, something unexpected happened. The event manager walked over to me, whispering, "The PR team needs the slideshow ready, guest photos and memorial clips." I froze. Memorial clips. I followed him to the projection booth, and there it was, a section of the presentation labeled "Honoring Daniel's Late Fiancé." My photo. My smile, my name, that was it. That was my breaking point. But I didn't want to just ruin his day. I wanted to destroy his entire illusion in front of every person who believed his lie. So I uploaded a different video into the presentation file. It was a compilation I'd made days earlier. Photos and clips of Daniel and me together, videos of us laughing, kissing, traveling. Proof of our life. At the end of it, I added a clip of me now alive, holding a newspaper with that day's date, saying, "You said I was dead, Daniel, but here I am. The time came." As he and Lydia stood at the altar, the slideshow began. Soft music played, and faces of family and friends appeared. Then suddenly, my face filled the screen. A murmur rippled through the audience. I could see confusion in Daniel's eyes. Then came the next slide. Us together, kissing at the beach. The room went silent. Lydia's father turned toward Daniel, frowning. The guests began whispering, and then the final clip, me alive, staring straight into the camera, saying those words. "You said I was dead, Daniel, but here I am." The room erupted. Lydia gasped, dropping her bouquet. Cameras flashed. Reporters, already present for the high-profile wedding, began recording. Daniel's face went pale. He tried to stammer something, but his microphone was still on. "It's not what it looks like," he said, voice trembling. But it was too late. Security guards surrounded the stage. Lydia's father demanded an explanation. I stepped out from the side aisle, removing my catering badge, and walked toward him. Every eye followed me. Daniel's mouth fell open. "Claire," he whispered, as if seeing a ghost. I smiled. "No, Daniel, not a ghost, just the truth you tried to bury. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to think about something. If someone lied about your death, used your story to gain power, wealth, and sympathy, would you expose them publicly, knowing it would destroy their life? Or would you walk away quietly and let karma handle it? I really want to know. Pause for a second and tell me in the comments what you would have done in my place." When I tell you the next few minutes were chaos, I mean pure chaos. Lydia burst into tears, yelling at Daniel, demanding answers. Her father called off the wedding on the spot. The guests started leaving, murmuring and recording everything. Daniel tried to follow me, grabbing my arm, whispering, "Please, Claire, let me explain." I turned to him, my voice steady. "You told the world I was dead. There's nothing left for you to explain." He begged, saying it was all a misunderstanding, that he had to say those things to protect his career, that the elite wouldn't accept his past, that he loved me but couldn't choose me over success. That's when I realized the man I loved never existed. He was just a mask built for whoever could benefit him most. Lydia's family filed a defamation lawsuit. The press tore him apart. Within a week, every partnership he had was gone. His company's stocks plummeted, and his reputation was finished. His tragic love story turned out to be a scandal that ended his empire. Reporters hunted him down for interviews, but he vanished again, this time for real. As for me, the aftermath was strangely quiet. For a while, people tried to reach out, asking for my side of the story. I stayed silent. I didn't want fame or pity. I just wanted peace. Sarah and I became good friends after that. Lydia even reached out months later, apologizing for what happened. She said I'd saved her from marrying a monster. And maybe that was the only good thing that came out of all of it. It's been 2 years since that day. Sometimes I still get messages from strangers saying they saw the video of the wedding, that it inspired them to stand up for themselves. I guess revenge doesn't always come from anger. It comes from finally choosing your truth over someone's lies. So was I wrong for doing what I did, for turning his perfect wedding into the stage for his downfall? Maybe, but after everything he stole from me, my love, my name, my existence, I think I just gave him back what he deserved.